How you guys doing? And welcome to Lou's Comedy Roundtable. I'm Lou Avent, your host. We got some great guests for you today. I'm going to kick it to one of our guests right now. Drove all the way up from Barrington, New Hampshire.
Jake Grove.
Yep.
I was figuring if you forgot.
How are you, Jake?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me. That didn't quite unfold the way I was told it would, but all right.
Maybe not perfect.
Listen to
A
you.
little background from you, Jake.
What would you like to know, Dennis? I'll tell you anything. I'm not telling Lou a thing, but I will tell you anything you'd like to know.
First off, I love working with you because you're one of the best well-known comics, and you stick to your time. You're in it, man, and it's great.
I appreciate that. That's what I strive to be known as the guy who sticks to his time.
That's important.
If
you're a professional.
Else. I try to be.
It's on his business card.
He does his time.
This next guy gets his time.
No, I love doing it. I'm passionate about it, so I love it. And I love all aspects of it. A lot of guys tire of the writing or tire of the business side of it. I love all of it. I got a late start in comedy, so I'm still new enough at it. It's still all really exciting to me. I really enjoy doing it, being out there and traveling, meeting new folks. It's great. Really enjoy it.
You're also a good booker. You put on a lot of good shows, and you help out
a lot of shows.
A lot of new people.
I try to. I was fortunate enough, and I know we'll get to Dave in a second, but I was fortunate enough when I started, I had people who had enough faith in my potential to give me shots, and a lot of them when I wasn't quite ready or maybe didn't deserve them as much, and I was able to kind of work that out, and it's the classic thing. You can't get the job without experience, but you can't get experience without the job, so I try and return the favor to new guys that I see that I feel like are willing to work hard and don't expect it all to be handed to them. So.
And it's great because when you book people that have been on a Jay Grove show, they know how to run the show. You know what I mean? They stick to their time. They do a professional show, and it's pretty good.
That's a big. I think a lot of it's succession planning. I don't want to have to be. I know a lot of folks that I work for. They feel like they have to be at every show. They don't want this to go on. I feel like the guys I've worked with, Lou and Steve Kluter, and some of the guys where we kind of learned how to do shows together. I feel comfortable that my guys can go to a show and they know how to set up the sound. They know where to put the spotlight. They know how the show should look and how the show should feel, what to do if this kind of thing happens. And that's a big part of it for me because then I don't need to be there. And when your money can make money, that's when you can kind of start to go, maybe I could do this as a career. As a performer, especially with the late jump that I got at only 4 years in, the performing's never going to be able to, I don't think, full time for me. But if I can kind of have my money make money, and again, some of the best advice I ever got when I started was take the money that you make and get sound systems, get sound and lights, and that's helped me out immensely to be able to kind of have shows going on when I'm not there. Huge. So, yeah, I've been lucky. I've been really lucky to have good people take an interest and invest in me, and I've been able to kind of work hard with that investment and advice and do some good things with it.
We're going to kick it to the co-host, let you introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Dennis Fogg, and basically I've been doing comedy for a long time. It's great to co-host. Lou and I have been doing this. For Biddeford, 3, 4, 5 weeks now. We're getting pretty good at this, and this is one of the best shows because we have two of the comedians I actually look up to because of not just being comedians, but they know how to run a room, and they know how to professionally take care of comedy, and that's a big time because you could do comedy in the street, but without somebody to run a room and to take care of it professionally, it helps quite a bit.
We have another guest who drove all the way up from Mass, who runs a room in Salisbury, Massachusetts, Mr. Dave Rattigan.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you. I just want to say that I've been in the business a long time. I have no enthusiasm for it. I hate it. I don't stick to my time. I would just as soon be doing shows in the streets.
This is what I like. This is what I like right there. That's what I like.
And after 20 years, your credit is runs a room in Salisbury. So there you
know,
go, Dave.
I know.
Welcome to success.
I know.
This is changing. This show is turning into something else today.
And I don't know what succession planning means. I just want to get that on the record. I have no idea what succession planning is. That succession planning. I think Jay is saying when he gets assassinated, who's going to take over?
Oh, okay.
Well,
because you know it's sooner or later.
I do a lot of shows in Northern Maine, sure.
You were also in the commercial with that young lady from the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
Weren't you? As the Olympia Sports one.
And nobody remembers it anymore.
Right, because she was Jody Watley, right?
No, Jody Watley is a singer. Heidi Watley.
Yeah, Heidi Watley.
Jody Watley was in Shalimar.
All I know is she was a lot better looking than you were.
Yeah.
I've done
That would
two.
be pretty cool to see you in the
In a commercial with Jody Wilder.
That would be interesting. I'd be the guy like standing around, looking around, like, what are all these people doing around? Yeah, I've done a couple of commercials, but that's the one that people remembered. Although, as Jay pointed out, even people who saw the commercial didn't know there was a guy in the commercial.
Right. Even though Jimmy Dunn gets headlining on that one.
Well, I don't think anybody saw Jimmy either.
No.
I think they
Yeah.
they see Heidi. That's all they see, and nobody is remembering Jimmy or me. Although I've actually had people who've said, I've seen that commercial, you were the cab driver, and I say, sometimes I say no, and sometimes I say thanks very much
For paying attention, yeah. At least we remember it was Olympia Sports.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, that's the hard. A lot of the commercials nowadays, you don't even know who's putting out these commercials. They're so
Right.
cool. That, just the way it goes.
You also run Scamps Comedy, right?
I do. Do you know there's a commercial, Lou? And they actually have somebody you can call an incontinence counselor. You can call an incontinence counselor. That
Oh, I know
takes
how
a
to
little
do
work.
that.
I should have practiced that before I said it, but
Yeah.
I saw it this morning, which shows you the kind of TV I'm watching these days. Apparently, that's what's on TV land.
Yeah.
But you can call their incontinence counselors, and they will give you some sort of advice about products.
Now, you're also one of those stranger old people who had a child later in life. So you're going through all this stuff like now, man. What are you, like 80? And you,
I am. I'm 80 years old.
Looks great.
I have a
Good, you
7-year-old, and
it's like Anna Nicole Smith all over again. Huh?
something like that. I had a great joke, but it was Joey Carroll, so I can't steal it. But yeah, I've got a little kid. She's 7 years old and just finished first grade. I know Jay's got a little one as well. And
Just finished second. My daughter. not me.
You've got an 11-year-old. And your kids
in
are
the
are what, like in their
I have
20s?
grandkids now.
You have grandkids in their 30s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope at the end of the show they can do some sort of freeze frame on your face when you ask Dave the serious question about his company. And he's like, "Did you know there's an incontinence?" Lou's
so
face
how about your
momentarily went
business?
very
Oh, yeah.
baffled.
I'm sorry.
Like he had that look. Like, did Scamps branch out? Are they doing adult
You
diapers now?
selling? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'll plug the website for my company, which is Scamps Comedy. We do really good shows, and if you have any problems with incontinence, email me, and I will find that commercial.
Apparently, there's some
Has your
advertisement.
email dropped?
What's that?
Got your website dropped? Is
Yeah,
that
what is this about websites dropping?
My website drops this Friday, by the way.
Hot 93.7 is going to be there.
LouAvent.com, Yep,
It's going to be great.
andfriedminds.com drops this Friday.
Going to be giving away tickets to the Jingle Jam.
It also publishes, but it'll drop first.
Drop.
It drops in New Haven. It publishes north
Yeah, you
of
can
York.
check it out.
Now summer's notoriously slow sometimes for comedy, but you guys have some big shows coming up, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Jay, what do you got coming up?
I think summers is what you make of it. I've been fortunate. I have very few off days during the summer. I actually opened up a comedy club in Raymond, New Hampshire, Veronica Laffs Comedy Club. We opened
Yeah, I
that
can't
back
wait
in
to get
March. And we're excited to have you. So I have that going on during the summer, but again, in the kind of money succession planning as it would be. While the club's going on, I've also been able to kind of drum up some other stuff for myself and be out and about. Try and stay pretty close within New England for the summer. I don't travel as much, and just my philosophy is if you can hit a bunch of singles, you don't need that home run on the weekend. So I stay busy. Last couple of weeks, I've had a day or two off, and it's been great. It's been great to be out. Like I said, I still love the working. But the comedy club's been a lot of fun. I'm learning, and I can see why. And I just have the one club and a few rooms here and there, but I can see why with the book. It gets you deal with some interesting types. You deal with some interesting folks. So.
And you and I have common bookers, and I like it when you and I are on a show together because right there, it's already
I think it
started out well.
complements styles. A lot of people don't see that. They just go to the comedy show and
Not
don't.
like
but it's,
Dave and I because we don't see it.
No, well, one
We're
of
too
you's
old.
funny.
We're
and
too old. And,
I won't say who.
Yeah, it goes
But
back and forth.
no, I think people don't see that aspect of a comedy show, that it is a lot like a baseball lineup or a lot like when you go to a music show. You wouldn't go to a music show with a country band and then a metal band. It would contrast to, I wouldn't. So a comedy show's the same way, and I think that's why I know you and I enjoy working together, and I enjoy working with all these guys because the styles are complementary. You go and you see guys where the styles don't make you kind of get that taste like you just brush your teeth and drank orange juice. You want to have a show flow and build so that the headliner's set up for success, and it's really a comedy show's a team game. You really, if it's done well, you put the headliner in a great spot to have a killer show. So.
Oh yeah, set it all up.
Everybody wants to kill from the front spot, but to me, if you leave a show going, that opener was great, that show probably sucked. So.
And Dave, what do you got coming up? I know you're busy all the time. Every time I call you.
Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing.
No, but it's true. You seem to have stuff running all the time.
I got stuff running, but no, here's the
do a
big
lot
one
of
I've
corporate
got.
stuff
The
also.
big one I've got right now is we're doing a show for some of the Stoneham Strong, which is a group of the victims of the Boston Marathon bombing on July 14th, Sunday, July 14th at the Regent Theater in Arlington. They called me up and they said, we've got 6 victims of this. We want to do something for them. So we're trying to get 500 people in the seats for that.
That'll be a great show.
It would be,
is a
it'll be a
great
great
cause.
show. Paul D'Angelo's doing it with me. Justin McKinney may or may not come down. Jimmy Dunn's doing it with me.
Darn,
I
that's
forgot
a
the rest of
lineup.
you
them.
could
Somebody,
get
there's somebody,
Jeff
Paul
Keoghan?
Gilligan. Paul Gilligan and Brian Ronan, who's actually from Arlington. So
Jeff Keon's what are you making a face? Jeff
I didn't
Keon's on
make-
everything.
I didn't make
Yeah,
a
that's what I
face.
figured.
Everything. If I see Dave, I assume
See
Jeff
Jeff
Keon will
Keoghan.
be
oh
there.
no, that's not a guarantee at all.
I think he
I
even
do as much
babysits
away
his
from
kids.
Jeff as I possibly can.
Well, I actually, actually when we were talking about comedy and everything, I remember that was my first true year into comedy. Jay was one of the first people to give me a summer of work, like
That was a fun,
that
yeah.
was, I mean, it was work. It was shows every weekend, pretty much for an entire summer.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, we didn't make any money or anything, but like,
Say,
but the experience
would
you
say
can get from that is,
say,
where you're
Lou.
doing 15 minutes a night, every night, every
Yeah.
work night. I mean, you can't really replace that with anything.
Lou, I have a gig for you. There's no money and you have to drive me.
Well, it was, well, no. That was,
You don't know Lou Avent very
that's-
well.
You don't know my hustle right now. You don't know.
We
No, that's what Bryce Hansen was.
Yeah, Bryce. Yeah, I mean, but we had, that's where you're supposed to be at the beginning.
And we started off in a way that if someone did that now, I'd go, well, look at this guy. It's not how you do it. And I heard that a lot, and I know Dave kind of, to some degree, pointed me in the right direction with certain guys and said, hey, you might be stepping on this guy's toes or rubbing this guy the wrong way by doing that. That's how you learn the business. But when we started, and this was 3 summers ago, myself, Lou, Steve Cloutier, Anthony Choder, Bryce Hansen, none of us had enough time to do a full 3-man show, so we kind of would go out and do this 5-man show and kind of go, all right, well, who's going to close? And if you wrote, whoever had the most would close. So I think, the first few shows, the headliner was doing 25 to 30, and having to pull out every trick in the book to do it. We did really low-end places. I mean, nice places, but places where
Low-end places.
when I
places, but-
say low end, I mean this. I mean
Low beer prices.
It was tough to in New Hampshire with some of the bookers there. I always compare it to like the kid who coughs on everybody's pizza at school lunch so that they can't eat it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's hard in New Hampshire to find a spot that you can't. Well, that's my okay. So we would kind of have to find the holes in the wall, and it was good because it was low pressure, but you also weren't stepping on toes by going in. It's no good if you book a good room and someone comes in and undercuts your budget. That's a jerk move in comedy. We were having to go places where it was so bad no one even thought to book there, so we could, and so we booked a lot of these $100, $200 shows where we literally would make $20 each, but we were getting to Thursday. We had a span of a month where Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 5 of us got to work at a time when no one should have been using this. None of us were really good enough to do anything other than maybe host. We were but for me it was a big help because I got to do 30. And it might have been in front of a bunch of people who were rowdy and drunk, but I got to do 30.
Let me just explain the comedian's math that you just heard there. They were getting paid $200. There were 5 of us, so we'd only get $20 a piece.
Yeah.
I said 100 to 200.
And pizza.
And pizza.
And pizza.
I was hoping Lou wouldn't catch
Lou,
it because
you're
I was
getting
getting
pizza,
200.
no
He was
money.
only
Oh,
getting
no, I
20.
heard, I heard,
Lou
I
got
heard.
plenty of pizza. Plenty of pizza.
I handle my business off.
We
the
had
set.
Awesome Entertainment now has what we call the Avent clause, where we
The
don't
Avent
give you
clause.
free
We
drinks
don't give
because
you
we want to be able to
free-
go back to the room.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front. I was
We've had a couple of
wild
phone
boy
calls.
back then. Yeah, definitely a wild boy. I'm not
Really?
gonna-
What's the wildest thing you ever did that you can talk about in front of
Well,
your
my daughter is
Yeah,
in the control
geez,
room,
I can tell you
so
what.
I
Well,
can't.
also, we got to sit to our schedule today. He could go on for hours.
Oh.
I will
Yeah.
tell you a
Right.
10-second end of a story. I won't tell you how it got to that point, but the end of the story is
Earmuffs.
we're in
Earmuffs.
Brattleboro. I get up at 5 a.m. and open the door, and Lou falls in like the morning paper. That was the end of the story.
Earmuffs.
Did he have icicles on him?
We,
No, it was the
was
middle. It was the
summer.
middle
It
of
was summer.
summer. Oh, he had. I think he had a
only
heat
thing that
rash
would've-
on his face from where I had to yell at him 5 hours before that. I'm leaving. I don't care how you get home. So.
Yeah.
But we've had fun, and it made us better. Yeah, we could do a whole episode about Lou stories and Crystal Light and all kinds of odd stuff. But it allowed us.
Crystal Light.
Lou drinks more Crystal Light than any human being ever.
For a minute, I thought that was the name of a
Girl, a stripper or
No.
something.
Right. Or,
He also
or-
will barter phone
Zumba
numbers for
instructor.
donuts in Hess late at night if that. He will buy donuts if you give him your phone number.
Oh, really?
So we could talk Lou stories all day. But just to finish that point, that summer did make us all a lot stronger. And I think what happened is as we went, the 6 of us became 5, became 4, became me, Steve, and Lou, who could all do 20 to 25 and put a show together. So it really was a huge learning tool for us.
Well, here's what I would guess from that, based on what you just told us. I think that if you would find a woman that would exchange a phone number for a donut,
That's what you got out of my story I just told.
that's the thing I thought. I wonder what kind of a conversationalist should be.
Yeah.
How was the date, Lou?
It was like
It
a
was
promo.
no date. It was really a pass the time kind of thing.
Yes.
Like we were walking home and like we went into the store and there was donuts and a woman, and that's pretty much.
And you
That's
thought
not
to
at all
yourself,
how
what
it's-
do I have to offer
What
this
do I
woman?
have to ask this woman?
What
And
would I like to get from this woman?
I-
I would
I-
like her phone number.
She wanted to
seems
give me her
nice.
phone number because it's not like she was getting a profit from the donuts. You know what I mean? It was 7-Eleven. You know what I mean? She wasn't getting a profit from the donuts. My daughter is probably
Yeah.
just
She's thinking,
embarrassed,
oh,
so
that-
embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed
We-
for you. I was there.
We also try to keep this to a pretty minimum, but
Oh,
we do
sorry.
this show on a weekly basis. We bring in different comedians. This has been a great show today. Lou's going to finish out, but if you're sitting around, you want to be a comedian, you're thinking to yourself, geez, I'd like to give this a shot. Get out to
Don't.
some open mics
Forget
and
about it.
think hard about it because it's
Think hard
actually
about
not
it.
as fun as it looks.
Do you want to
Sometimes it's a real job, sometimes it isn't. But if you want to call, you'll see our websites and thing. Check us out. We're all over the place. Between the 4 of us, I think you could probably catch one of us every weekend working
Absolutely.
somewhere. And it's been great having you guys on.
Thank you. This has
Well,
been
let's-
fun.
Thanks. Tell
Let's,
people, if they're from Mass, tell them to come to Arlington
Arlington.
on
Oh, yeah.
July 14th. Sunday, July 14th. It's a good cause, and we need people in the audience.
It's a subcategory of the Boston Strong. So how can you?
Right.
That's a
It's-
great
it's
cause.
It's a
I
good
mean,
cause. All the guys are donating their time, and it'll be a great show.
And those are some headliners. That's one show that's got at least 3-4 headliners on it.
Yeah.
And Jeff Keelan.
So,
Jeff Keelan.
how about you tell them one more time about Winter Circle and other things you got going on the next
All right.
couple weeks?
If you want to drive from Maine to Massachusetts for comedy on Tuesday, we run an open mic at the Winter Circle in Salisbury. We just celebrated our 4th anniversary. I don't know if you guys
Wow.
know that, and our 400th comedian.
Wow.
And it's an unusual experience. If you haven't done it, it's very unusual. It's a little more structured than maybe some open mics, but it's also a good mix of pros and new people, and they're very nice. And Jerry.
And his wife.
And Jerry, the owner, and Jeff, and everybody. I mean, they really support comedy. They videotape you. They give you a copy of the video, the DVD.
You're old.
That's
Yeah,
I am
go ahead.
old. They take an 8-track, and they do you on Super 8 millimeter. No, they'll do a video recording, and they'll give you the video recording for free, which is a nice thing to do. But it's just a nice place to do comedy, and it's a fun place to go. And there's no admission charge, so if you want to watch comedy, come on down to the Winter Circle in Salisbury any Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And I've got other gigs, but why don't we just plug those two?
All right.
You can go to Jay and let you know what's going on with Jay, and he's
Well,
got
if
some
you
rooms.
don't want to get filmed Bob Crane style down at the Winter Circle, I've got Veronica Laffs Comedy Club in Raymond, New Hampshire. We do monthly shows right now. We switch over to a weekly in 2014. Our website's vlaffs.com. Saturday, July 13th, we have Steve Bjork, big headliner, Vegas guy, casino guy. And for my Maine folks, I will actually be at the Colonial Theater in Belfast, Maine on Friday, July 12th. So if you're in the Belfast area, I will be there. I'll be in Bangor on July 18th.
Spectacular
At
Event
the
Center.
Spectacular
You gotta
Event
love it.
Center. I will be the Spectacular
Hors
Event.
d'oeuvres.
So Belfast and Bangor coming up. My schedule is always available at jgrove.com. I have a lot of Maine stuff coming up this month. So hope to see people out there. I can always be found online on my Facebook fan page, Jay Grove.
Don't you run an open mic as well?
I do.
How many things can the guy plug?
You know,
Oh, can I
You
plug
know, you
something?
gotta
Well, if you're going to let him plug something.
those were the
you
big
gotta
thing.
plug
The
those
comedy club is something I'd like people to know about,
Yeah.
and I'm in Maine, so I thought that was pertinent.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would
I
make
mean,
a
you
lot
know.
of
Plug the
sense.
open mics
I've done
too.
shows in Poughkeepsie too. I figured,
The
I do run, and I also have Punchlines at Panucci's is my Concord open mic. In the month of August, we have the third annual New England's Best Bar Comic Contest, and that's every Monday in August. We have a $500 cash prize. The finale is on Labor Day, and that can be found online as well.
Wow, you're going to let him plug that? Let me plug one more thing then.
Give him
Can I
one more
plug-
thing.
plug-
Go
all
ahead.
right, good.
Go ahead, good.
I want to let people know that I'll be at the Dunkin' Donuts in Portland, and I'll be giving out donuts for anybody who gives me their phone number. I'm not going to call it. I just want to put it in a database and send it to the government to spy on you.
Yep.
That's it.
And I'll be this Sunday. I'll be in Old Orchard Beach on a Rob Steen show in the on the pier. It's going to be great. Right on the strip there. Be talking to a lot of French people. And if you want to come down and wear your Speedo, I won't guarantee you'll get in, but we will laugh at you. It'll be a fun time.
I will also be there this Sunday.
All right.
In a Speedo.
I'll be there the 14th.
Cool.
Next week, so.
See? Everybody's got stuff.
Good times.
Well, thank you guys very much for watching Lou's Comic Roundtable. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it. Yep. Thanks.
I said appreciate it.